and we do well because we apply the armed forces tactics and techniques with our students. And I'm not saying kidding, because my under 13s, and my under 14s right now have a lung capacity which is more than my senior team. Today we did the yo-yos. There are 8 boys on 21. 21. There are 2 boys who took 500 rupees from me because one is on 21.3 and 21.4, which is the highest score ever recorded in the history of Minerva. 21.4 was the highest score recorded in Man City. This is the level, and when they won the title with 100 points.
तो मुझे क्लब बनाना है, ठीक है, मुझे मिनर्वा रेप्लिकेशन करनी है, मुझे चाहिए, मुझे क्या करना पड़ेगा, लाइक मुझे कितना पैसा लगाना पड़ेगा, मुझे क्या करना पड़ेगा क्लब बनाने?
पैसा लगाना नहीं है, जीरो।
अच्छा,
पहले आपने, सो यू हैव टू हैव, अगर तुमने खुद बनाना है एंड यू आर विलिंग टू डिवोट योर लाइफ फॉर इट, पहले लाइसेंस करो, ठीक है, 5 दिन का लाइसेंस होता है, डी लाइसेंस। जैसे डी लाइसेंस कर लिया, यू आर अलाउड टू कोच एन अंडर 13 टीम। अपने अंडर 13 के बेस्ट लड़के सिलेक्ट करो, नॉट अंडर 13 बट एट 10-11 ईयर्स ओल्ड, 9-10-11 के लड़के सिलेक्ट करो, उनको फ्री कोचिंग दो हर रोज सुबह शाम, एंड मेक देम प्ले इन योर लीग। विद इन 3 years इफ यू आर डूइंग 12 सेशंस अ वीक, यू, एंड वो टीम कैसे खिलानी है, आपने किसी स्कूल से पार्टनरशिप करनी है जाके, और उनको बोलना कि मैं आपके बच्चों की फ्री कोचिंग करूंगा अगर आप मुझे 2 घंटे के लिए अपना ग्राउंड यूज करने के लिए दोगे। अगर वो भी नहीं मानते, मैं अकेडमी वहां चलाऊंगा, आधे पैसे आपको दूंगा जो पैसे आते हैं। स्कूल, डोंट इन्वेस्ट इन द ग्राउंड, यूज अ ग्राउंड विच इज ऑलरेडी देयर एंड ट्रेन अदर बॉयज फॉर फ्री ऑल्सो। अब उसके बाद जैसे तुम्हारा वहां पे तुम चैंपियन अंडर 13 बन गए हो एंड यू स्टे विद द सेम टीम and 12 times a week for 8 years, you've got a club ready for playing in the I-League. Till then, you would already won national titles in juniors. And you don't sell those players, you keep them on if you want to play in I-League. If you want to keep it as money, you keep selling those players and making money. Because तुम्हें सिर्फ 18 साल तक एक प्लेयर बेचना है, और आजकल मिनिमम प्लेयर जो 18 साल के हैं 30-40 लाख के बिक रहे हैं। सो अगर अकेडमी चलाने के लिए साल का बजट 30-40 लाख से ज्यादा नहीं है।
दिस इज सच ए गोल्डन एडवाइस। हमारे इतने डी लाइसेंस बैठे हुए लोग यार, कुछ नहीं कर रहे हैं, राइट?
कुछ नहीं कर रहे हैं, और तुम्हें पैसा खर्च करने की जरूरत नहीं है। यू हैव टू जस्ट गो टॉक, देयर आर थाउजेंड्स ऑफ स्कूल्स हु एंड हाउ मच पैसा। वो कहेंगे फुटबॉल ग्राउंड नहीं है, ग्राउंड कितना चाहिए? बच्चों की ट्रेनिंग होती है एसएसजी में, स्मॉल साइडेड गेम्स में है, उनको राउंड्स कराने हैं शुरू में। You don't require, you actually, even in my ground, you go see, you'll see in the huge field, there are 20 rounders going on. Not because, otherwise there are no more touches. The small touches, in this basics man.
And लोगों को लगता है ना कि जब लोग ना कोचिंग सोचते हैं, वो ना पेप गार्डियोला आते हैं दिमाग में, मैं ये करूँगा इन्वर्टेड फुल, which is not hard.
That you want to do that, you can do that, but you have to go through the basics first. Na?
Correct.
And then go straight there.
Correct. So sir, बहुत लोग कहते हैं कि रंजीत बजाज is that rebel, right, against Indian football. There's this other part of him, someone like an Anwar Ali story, right? I've heard it from other people. I've heard tidbits from, I just want to know from him, क्या हुआ था अनवर अली के साथ पूरा, and why did
Anwar is, see, because of the experience you have in football and the numbers which go through in front of my eyes, numbers of boys, I can come to know from a very young age, this guy has a temperament and this guy will go really fast. इसीलिए मैंने कहा अगले 6 साल में कोई नहीं है भाई, बट 6 साल के बाद 10-15 इकट्ठे देख लिया। और वैसे ही मैंने अनवर को देखा था। अनवर जब 12 साल का था हमारे पास आया था, we picked him up from this small village outside Jalandhar called Adampur. Next to the railway line, there was a small village, hutment, जैसे झोपड़ियां होती हैं. So there was family of goat herders. बकरियां चलाते थे, and that's what his father and mother were doing. And he and his 2 sisters were there. He was 12 and he's playing with the ball, and he came for the trial there जो हमने की है. He was so good and so calm on the ball, and he was a striker पहले, by the way. We really loved him, so we got him there on full scholarship. So 13 साल में he played for under 13 India, then under 14 India. He won the under 15 with us, and Mohan Bagan stole him from us. ये स्टोरी पता नहीं किसी को. उसने मोहन बगान में जाके 6 महीने स्पेंड किए, sat on the bench, उसको खिलाया नहीं, भाग के आ गया वहां से।
वो आईडी खेल रहे थे,
हाँ, अंडर 15 टीम में खिलाया नहीं, भाग के आया, उसी साल मैंने under 16 टीम में डाला. He became under 16 national champion. He also came into the under 16 national team. So under 17, under 18 खेलते. Then he played the under 17 World Cup. That's where he became very famous. In fact, Jackson was also my boy, scored the first goal. Before that, against the match in the US, he's almost scored. He hit the bar.
Yeah, I remember.
And that would have been a stunner. उससे पहले उसके he had already become famous because he had beaten Argentina's under 20 team and it was his free kick.
Yeah. Top right.
और वो इसलिए फेमस है बिकॉज अर्जेंटीना के जो वर्ल्ड चैंपियन उनका जो कोच है स्कलोनी, वो पहला असाइनमेंट था अर्जेंटीना अंडर 20 का. So it was a great thing because now we know who Scaloni was. That time nobody knew that. And that time I knew that this guy has a special eye for goals because he's always a striker. And he's somebody like a Canavega who can go up and keep scoring. At that time when he was sold to Mumbai, he was one of the first players from my academy to be sold at a record price, that time at 30 lakhs. He, Jackson, Nong, Shahjahan, they were the 4 boys. So he was immediately loaned out to Arrows. Indian Arrows.
Yeah,
he played for 1.5 years, no problem. He went back to Mumbai and they apparently did some test on him and said that you have some heart problem. Now, उस टाइम पे ISL का ऐसा दबदबा था कि उन्होंने बोल दिया कि है AIFF ने, because AIFF was already sold to them. Praful Patel and Kushal Das and party made sure that he was banned and banned from Indian football for life. उसको कहते तू कोच बन जा, तेरी हेल्प करेंगे, तेरे को 20,000 25,000 सैलरी देंगे. So his life was shattered in front of him. And not only, see, it's not only his life, his family, because people don't understand. His entire family was depending on him कि ये बनेगा, ये guaranteed. देखो, India खेला 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, ये बनेगा और हमारी life settled है. And those overnight dashed. I did research, proper research, because obviously, if there's something dangerous, I don't want him to die. Then I saw that this is not a heart problem. This is known as an athlete's heart. So if you're playing from a young age, there's something known as कि fat जम गया और हमारी arteries मोटी हो गई है. That's a blockage.
Okay.
If you have muscle and it's mota, that means it's a muscle. It's known as an athlete's heart. And it comes out the same in the MRI. And then I found this doctor called Sanjay Sharma, who just happens to be an Indian, but he's the best cardiologist for footballers in the world. In fact, Ericsson and Aguero, all the people, he's the one who's treated them. He was the head of the English Premier League cardiology. He was the head of the English London Marathon, the Wimbledon, the London Olympic team. So he's the top-notch guy. तो इन्होंने बैन किया, मैं उसको लेके आया इनकी मीटिंग में, and I showed him that this is the guy who's the guy saying it. He said, I have had cases which are much worse than him, and they are still playing football. So you cannot ban him for this because this has got no danger. All tests have to be done every year, like they're done on every player. That's it. They didn't listen to him.
Okay.
Then I went to the High Court, and the High Court then allowed him. They still didn't let him play. So I said, okay, fine, I'll play him for my club. Because all the clubs who were interested, they told him, don't sign him. He went to Mohammedan Sporting, signed. They threw him out. Mohammedan Sporting threw him out of a meeting. AIFF has banned you, please go out from here. After signing him. So people don't know this. He was thrown out from the middle of a meeting. So as they come back. At that time, Tektro had come up. And they were playing their first Himachal Championship. So this is actually 4th division. Himachal State League. And it's one of the, no disrespect, but one of the worst state leagues because उस time पे वहाँ पे football था ही नहीं. So he was played in Tektro. उसके बाद Minerva, because they become a new club. Round Club Punjab हो गया था. So Minerva had to start from the 3rd division of Punjab football. So he played in the 3rd division. We won that. 2nd division, we won that. Got to the top league. Then he played the same year in Delhi League. In 1 year, I made him play around 44 to I think 47 or 48 matches in 1 year with video. And I put them up. I said, who can be fitter than this guy? He's played 48 matches. Then he played in the I-League qualifiers and the Durand Cup. In that Durand Cup, he beat Kerala Blast. उस टाइम में हम 4th division team थे. अब तो हम I-League हैं. उस टाइम में state league team था.
आपने DFC से किया.
हाँ. तो हमारे ग्रुप में था Kerala Blasters and Bangalore and Navy. We qualified for the quarterfinals and we beat Kerala. We drew with Bangalore and he was the captain. Then people saw the, okay, fine, this guy is really, really good. And then FC Goa said, okay, we want him. Because, and in the 2nd division qualifiers, he's the highest scorer as a centre back. He had scored 6 goals. In one match, he scored a goal from his head, from a left foot free kick, right foot free kick.
Perfect hat-trick.
I knew, and I used to be saying it that time when they banned him, that India's, listen, I'm not doing this just for this boy. if this boy is not allowed to play, India will lose the best centre back they've ever produced in the last 2 decades. And I was right.
He is.
The moment you put him in his team, the first name on the team sheet is Anwar Ali. Because he gives you a totally different dimension. You've never seen a guy who can pass as well as him as a centre back.
And
Oh my God.
And it looks like, yaar, ye banda doesn't look like an Indian.
लगता है कि he's got so much of time on the ball.
Exactly.
When you have, that's like, कहता तेंदुलकर time कितना होता है वो बात है ना. When you've got so much of time, no, you don't. You have the same amount of time, but it looks like that because you don't care about the pressure. You're not hurried.
So pleasing on the जो ping करते हैं वो ball.
ऊपर से उम्र देख 22 साल की है यार भाई. Center back get good at 27, 28, 29. Imagine.
And अभी तो गेम की बेसिक समझ आ जाए डिफेंडिंग ढंग से करनी है फिर
सारा एक्सपीरियंस से आएगा. अब इतना खेलता रहेगा तो कहां पहुंच जाएगा ये. ऊपर से देखो the kind of score goals he scored that day.
बॉन्ड बगान की.
Now he started scoring. So imagine.
And banging headers, right?
Wow man.
And you know ये स्टोरी लोग बताते नहीं है, right? क्योंकि apparently you were quoted as the rebel, you know, in the...
See, anyone who does something which is out of the ordinary is known as the rebel. Okay.
Rebel with the cause.
Rebel with the cause. So, but something out of the ordinary which is not being done. And then that also irks a lot of people because I really believe if I have haters, that means basically they're not haters. They're still talking about me. That means they're fans.
Doing something like
My fans, because they're still talking about me. You really hate someone, you don't talk about him, man. So it's really pissing them off that I'm doing it. So it's good. At least someone's doing it. I really hope that more people, it's not, see, that is why I'm saying, I don't want to be president of AIFF because I'm not here to win popularity contests. I'm here to make India champions. Get us to the World Cup and fucking win that. Simple as that. I don't want to be the most popular man. I want to be the one who's right. Right about what? Right about my aim.
And are you very sure कि मेरी टीम में 2034 में खिला के रहूँगा?
हाँ, guarantee है भाई. Why? Because every year I'll be proving it. So it's going to be, there is so accountability and transparency is in there because my team is India's team. जब वो जाते हैं, जब तक इंडिया की टीम नहीं, I wish इंडिया की टीम जाए, पर जब तक बच्चों की इंडिया की टीम नहीं जाएगी, इंडिया की कोई टीम जा ही नहीं रही, हमारी इंडिया की टीम है. And I know, as long as these boys keep doing well and making India proud, India will keep supporting me. And simple.
You know, this sense of patriotism, does it come from your parents as well?
No, it comes from my job. My real job is my family's business, which is the armed forces.
Yeah.
So people don't know this. Minerva
Minerva
is an armed forces academy. We train who? Sher Shah.
Vikram.
या तो मैं तिरंगा लहरा के आऊंगा या तिरंगे में लिपट के आऊंगा. Sher Shah is ours.
And I'm from Himachal and I know he's such a legend there. Like he's
Nirmaljeet Singh Sekhon, the only PVC Paramveer Chakra of the Indian Air Force, is our student. We've had chiefs, but this is the guys. We've had 5 MVCs, Mahavir Chakra. So the legacy of Minerva is always the nation. So when you come into Minerva, the first thing you see is a 100-foot flag. First thing you notice is that. The boys play under that flag every single day. On Delhi FC or Minerva Academy shirts when you're playing in the I League, never has to have a sponsor. On our chest or on the back used to be saluting the Indian Armed Forces, Army, Navy, Air Force. So it's always for the nation. So people think I'm being too nationalistic or patriotic. No, it's not. It's inherent. It's in my blood. It's all for the country. And we do well because we apply the armed forces tactics and techniques with our students. And I'm not saying kidding because my under 13s, and my under 14s right now have a lung capacity which is more than my senior team. Today we did the yo-yos. There are 8 boys on 21. 21. There are 2 boys who took 500 rupees from me because one is on 21.3 and 21.4, which is the highest score ever recorded in the history of Minerva. 21.4 was the highest score recorded in Man City. This is the level, and when they won the title with 100 points. So the VO2 max capacity of these boys at this age is so huge. And I'm not just saying that. You have to come and check these boys out. So today when I saw the results and when I was seeing they were just running and running and running and running, it's all because they're doing it 12 times a week. In the morning they train for 3 hours. In the evening they train for 3 hours again. So imagine when they go and play a match for 90 minutes.
And ultimately, you know, ये fitness आज modern day football में
नहीं है. Now, that is where I totally differ from everyone. I think the only, this is when you do new thing called periodization. and you should not work the body so much. There has to be recovery. Yes, at a certain age when your body can't take it, that means after the age of 16, you cannot train 3 hours in the morning, 3 hours in the evening. After the age of 20, you can only do it once in a day, or 22. For example, when I was 18, I could party the whole fucking night, go and play in the morning, party the whole night again and play in the morning and then probably sleep. If I party the whole night there, I will not be able to work for the next 3 days. Okay? That changes. So I used to remember when I used to be 11, 12, I used to get up in the morning and I used to be playing the whole day.
But खाना खाने घर आना है बीच में.
Exactly. And when I used to be 17, 18, I was playing 4, 4, 5, 5 matches in 5 different tournaments.
Correct.
And not get tired and play the same thing again. So I think we are mollycoddling. So you see, if you want to become better than Japan, you can only become better than Japan if you play more football than them. You can't say that I want to play 20 matches, kids play 60 matches. No, you play 120 matches. And the only age you can do that is till the age of 13, 14, 15. That's it. You cannot overwork them after that. But till then, you can. And that's why these guys used to, see, one of the main reasons we used to go and dominate everybody abroad in the last 3 years is because of the reason of our fitness. These boys are monsters.
But just on one of the concluding notes, like, you know, मैं ये नहीं पूछना था वर्ल्ड कप कब खेली, like, no, I am of the assumption India football का revolution आएगा आज से 7-8 साल बाद, 8-10 साल बाद, right? Where do you see, you know, the entire footballing, you know, revolution in India? Like, होगा ये नहीं होगा, क्या changes जरूरत है Indian football में, क्या खराब है, मतलब, because there are some aspects which will make or break Indian football, right?
See, I really think that if we get, see, अगर आईपीएल जो हम ड्रीम कर रहे हैं ना, ये हमारे इंडियन क्रिकेट में रेवोल्यूशन आया आईपीएल की वजह से.
करेक्ट.
पैसा आया आईपीएल की वजह से. वही भी आई वांट आईएसएल टू बी, बट वो जो पैसा आएगा वो आई डोंट वांट टू गो टू प्राइवेट कंपनी. दैट्स माय मेन प्रॉब्लम. एआईएफएफ को पैसा जाना चाहिए, बिकॉज एआईएफएफ वो कहते नहीं करप्शन करे, करप्शन कर भी लेगा, सारे का नहीं करेगा ना. पैसा विल स्टिल हैव टू बी गोइंग बैक इनटू इंडियन फुटबॉल. If a private company gets that paisa, he has no obligation to spend it back into Indian football. The whole point of investing for so many years in the ISL by FSDL, so that one day they can make big money of it. But Indian football will not be making big money, na? Then how will the money go down to all the districts?
Like, are other people protesting against it? Like,
no, they are being seen. That's the whole thing. मैंने एक बहुत अच्छी वीडियो लगाई थी on YouTube called Manufacturing Consent, and there was a very great economist called Chomsky. So uske बारे में था. So he had made this. See, they've glamorized the whole thing. They made the whole thing look very nice, saying that your standards are better. I wish if they were doing the same thing for the kids, same standards, I would be the happiest man in the world.
Correct.
But this is only for the senior team. Now, if I play with Messi for 20 years, I will not become Messi. So if you think you make me play on the best ground in the world with the best players also, forget about the ones you got right now. सऊदी अरेबिया जो कर रहा है उनको ले आओ. चाइना ने किया था ना, कुछ नहीं हुआ ना. They will not become better. Who will become better? If my kids go and play with the best kids in the world, they will go first. Yeah, it's very simple. I'll give you an example. At the age of 6, I can make you turn from a left-hander to right-hander within 6 months. Morning, evening, morning, evening. Very easy. Right now, even forget me. Right, your age, impossible. 6 साल लग जाएंगे तेरे को to get the same proficiency. Corrections नहीं फॉर्म होते.
मतलब ultimately it just boils down to grassroots, right? कुछ that is make or
every sport. Every sport. Because it boils down to myelin. Myelin is a protein produced in your body maximum from the ages of 6 to 15. That is what is responsible for your twitch or your muscle memory or your fast responses. एक होता है सोच के response. एक होता है automatic. फुटबॉल में, क्रिकेट में सोच के होता है कि वो बॉल आई से छोटी पड़ रही है तो मैं इसको पुल मारूंगा. फुटबॉल में डिसीजन मेकिंग में 4 बंदे इकट्ठे आ रहे होते हैं. यू कांट, इट्स नॉट डिसीजन मेकिंग, इट्स ऑटोमेटिक.
यूरी टू एलिमेंट्स का जब हमने मैच कैम देख रहा था, मैं बॉडी कैम देख रहा था, हाउ फास्ट.
सो यू डोंट हैव टाइम टू मेक अ डिसीजन. इट हैज टू बी ऑटोमेटिक. इट कैन ओनली बी ऑटोमेटिक इफ यू डन 1000 टाइम्स इन लाइफ. दैट कैन ओनली हैपन इफ यू बीन प्लेइंग सिंस 6.
जब मुझे पता है मैं आगे देख भी बॉल पिंग करके उधर पास कर सकता हूं, बिकॉज़ मुझे पता है वो चीज मैंने 10,000 बार कर सकता.
एग्जैक्ट.
तो सर, Minerva, like, who replicates Minerva? Like मुझे को लग रहा है कि अभी भी clueless as Indian football, right?
Hopefully now with the new center of excellence coming up, which Arsene Wenger is coming in next year, they're saying they're going to open an under 13 academy. That will be revolutionary. अगर ये असली में हो गया, that's the change we require. Because under 13 means 10, 11, 12-year-olds. That means people will start playing football at 6, 7, 8 to get into that academy. Exactly what we want. And that has to be replicated in 4 other places so that you can have a proper pipeline.
And do you think the current AIFF system, Mr. Kalyan Chaubey, like is he the right man to lead the?
See, I'll tell you, I have never seen in my memory India playing over 20 internationals in a year.
Which they
forget about playing, winning 3 tournaments in a year. They are 3-peat title holders, man. India in football, I can't imagine I'm saying that. So everything he's doing is right. I hope he doesn't fall for ISL's trick of changing Igor Stimac, because that's the best thing which could have happened to us.
I love that.
Why? Because see, understand, he loves our country, man. He's standing up for us.
वो कह रहा है कि मुझे पैसे नहीं चाहिए. I have that dream यार. वो बंदा खुद के.
अब now imagine, अब अगर तुम जो मर्जी ले आओ, तुम पेप ग्वार्डियोला का ले आओ, उसको 2 साल लग जाएंगे इंडिया को समझने में भाई. 2 साल टाइम देते नहीं हो, you start hating Igor Stimac को तुमने ले ली for the first 2 years because he was not giving results. No one can do that. But now he's understood. Now he's understood giving you results. Now you want to change him again.
And I think यार इंडियन जो जनता है ना, ऑडियंस, वो इतनी इमोशनल है. एंड आई थिंक फॉर द फर्स्ट टाइम एक मैनेजर ने इमोशनली कनेक्ट किया है.
Why? Because I've never seen an Indian manager stand up and willing to take it for his team.
Correct.
He's asking for camps, which is no. इसको क्या है? इसको तो पैसे उतने मिल रहे हैं ना. He could have just said, okay, fine, I'm sitting at home in Croatia and I don't care. He wants to do the Asian Games also. He wants to go with the 23. He wants to do Kings Cup. He wants to do Minerva. He wants to do this. Why? Game time. And why? Asian Cup is coming up. He's taking a panga with the ISL, by the way.
He is.
So basically, he's chopping his own legs off. He doesn't care. That's what makes me love him. That he's actually caring about the Indian team. He knows if he doesn't have a camp, there's no chance.
And ultimately, his job depends on how the.
Yes, because you put that condition, and then you said you go box with him, but you can't box because your hands are tight. Correct. Go play the best countries in the world, in Asia, and one of them is the best in the world without any camp. So if Japan can postpone their league, Saudi Arabia can do it, Iran can do it. Saudi Arabia, yaar, Ronaldo ki league. They're postponing their league because of this. We can't.
And I think that is how Indian football will change, right?
Yep.
And on the closing note, I think, इतने लोगों से बात करिए, and I've heard so much. I've listened to so many of your interviews, sir, as well. But just sitting with you, I understand where this passion comes from, where why commercialization doesn't affect you, because itna clear vision, and honestly, sir, I think you're doing a service to the nation. And I think with your academy, with even the armed forces, I think that is something that is ingrained in you. And just this entire bit was so lovely. And I'm absolutely honored. I think मैंने आपको पहले भी बता रहा था कि जब मैंने शुरू भी नहीं किया था ना 7-8 महीने पहले, आई नो कि नॉर्थ इंडिया में अगर मुझे किसी से बात करनी है ना फुटबॉल के लिए, मुझे रंजीत सर से करनी थी. आई थिंक आई एम सो ग्लैड. एंड आप 10:30 बजे हमने इंटरव्यू शुरू किया रात के, which is that shows the dedication that you have. And sir, I'm absolutely honored. I think this was one of the.
Thank you so much, bro, for having me, and I'm always going to be here for you. Thank you, man.
Thank you so much. Sir, it was lovely.
Jai.
Thank you.